Perspective time. The 49ers just lost a game they were expected to lose. They're now going to be favored in 4 straight for a month straight of football. So yes, the sun does indeed rise the day after the 49ers defense was just eviscerated by the Rams. Now, that is the number 4 Rams offense. Take a look at the offenses the 49ers are going to be facing over the course of the next month. No better than number 21. The Cardinals, the Panthers, number 26. It just gets worse. The Browns at number 30, and then the bottom barrel Tennessee Titans offense. So if you're looking for an opportunity, if you're Robert Saleh, to execute what George Kittle hopes that the defense executes, this is your chance. You've got defenses, or you've got offenses that are not good coming up on the schedule. You're not going to have Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Sean McVay on the other side. You're going to have offenses that you can beat, that you can incrementally improve against. And the 49ers, they don't need to be world beaters defensively. Yesterday, Mac Jones went 33 of 39 for over 300 yards. The defense just put the 49ers offense in position where it had to be absolutely perfect. And, I don't think that perfection is an expectation that you can have in any week. This is the NFL. Other team is going to make plays, unless it was the 49ers defense yesterday, and there were really no plays to be made. Maybe the Keon White sack, right? But, that was a solid play. That was one where he beat the tackle, got pushed down by the guard, but got back up and sacked Matthew Stafford anyway. It was the back 7 that was so problematic for the 49ers, whether it be Jair Brown getting barreled over into the end zone, Malik Mustafa missing tackles, nobody wrapping up for the 49ers. They're weak at the linebacker position. I do wonder, you have this 4-game stretch now where it is a much softer landing than you would ever expect in the NFL. Normally you play at least one above average offense if you've got a month-long stretch. Nick Martin, you get him in there? Because one of the guys that got picked on yesterday was Luke Gifford, 49ers strong side linebacker. Martin, the 3rd-round pick out of Oklahoma State, did the 49ers start cross-training him at the Sam linebacker position so he can maybe get some snaps at that spot? Right? They've been training him at the will position, and normally those two can be interchangeable after a player has developed some experience. I just don't think that Nick Martin has taken any reps at that Sam position yet. But maybe it's time that the 49ers start thinking of a strategy like that. Because if you look at where this team started heading yesterday as far as the track goes, right? I had the red track, the blue track, and the orange track. That we know that they need to make a jump offensively, and I think yesterday, in many ways, 400 yards, nearly 400 yards against the Rams, a top 5 defense, Mac Jones completing 85% of his passes. The 49ers did look like there's some real offensive juice, and Brock Purdy might be back this next week, but we know they have 2 capable quarterbacks. They can make that jump from left to right. I don't think that's a question for the 49ers. I even think that they started making that jump yesterday. It's where they head on the vertical axis, right? Where does the defense head? So I said either red, defense improves, blue, defense continues sliding, but not that poorly, or orange, the defense just has the bottom fall out from underneath it. And yesterday, the 49ers definitely took steps along that orange track. And that orange track, well, that would mean that they're not going to be competitors with some of the best teams in football, but they could still find their way into, especially given the schedule, a few more wins, and then they could make some noise over the back 3 and potentially into the playoffs. The next 4 games, again, these winnable 4 games where the 49ers will be favored in all 4 of them. If they hold serve as favorites, the 49ers will be 10-4. They can reach 10 wins. There's still a clear path to reach that, even with how beaten up and how flawed this defense is. And then there would be that final 3-game stretch where they would be underdogs in 2 of those 3, right? Indianapolis, the Chicago Bears, and the Seattle Seahawks. You'd be favored over the Bears at home. You would not be favored over the Colts or over Seattle. So that's the Golden Gate for San Francisco. That's what they have to sail through moving forward. That is the goal for the 49ers. Win these next 4, develop the defense over the next 4, find a way to get incrementally better on that side of the football. And you know, we could talk about some of the strategies that the 49ers can engage in to do that. And then see where you're at for the final three. See if you can notch an upset or two in the final three. Even if you can't, you're at 10 wins, you're probably going to qualify for the playoffs. And throughout all of this, I've been saying get this roster at least one playoff game, and that could provide immeasurable boost for the team culture, for whatever the 49ers are trying to build for 2026 when they start getting guys back. That, you know, 2017 helped build a foundation when the 49ers won those final 5 games of the season, and that was a team that was 1-10 entering those final 5 games of the season. This is a team that's still 6-4. This is still a good record for the 49ers, and there's a lot to build on. I mean, George Kittle, I thought, said it best. It almost seems like he's been watching our videos talking about the 49ers' need for elite offensive play, something which I firmly believe they can deliver, especially once they start returning players there. And Kittle talked about Purdy, Kittle talked about Ricky Pearsall, Kittle even talked about Brandon Ayuk for the 49ers on that front. I think, you know, Mac was so good yesterday. We saw Mac shuffle his way out of trouble and throw that touchdown pass to Luke Farrell. And before the game, he had this band exercise that he was doing to activate. And it was funny because Margot Lombardi herself texted me as soon as Mac threw that touchdown pass to Luke Farrell. She's like, oh, the pregame routine worked out. He was using the same exact movement. So I took straight to X how to post that one right away. 49ers offensive line didn't give up a single sack, and I have to say Mac Jones didn't give up a single sack either. The offensive line, the quarterback getting the ball out in time, showing some mobility, all of that is critical when you post a clean sheet. But with Ben Barch and Spencer Burford rotating at left guard, I thought that was the best 49ers O-line performance. I told you guys that the issue had been that left guard position. They played 2 straight good games up front now against good fronts, with the left guard more solidified, with Burford back last week and now Ben Barch back this week. And that sets the table for the 49ers to truly, truly explode offensively. I think that when you're playing behind and you're playing, you know, the defense is non-existent like it was yesterday, a quarterback with some mobility can really help. I thought that was the problem on Mac's interception on 4th and 4, wasn't able to bail the pocket in a desperate situation. So of course, Brock Purdy gives you a higher ceiling. But even with Mac, regardless of what happens timing-wise with Purdy, even with Mac, the 49ers are not in a bad spot offensively. 85% of his passes completed yesterday. This team has a chance to really move the ball and score some points. It's more about what the 49ers can do to lock down opposing offenses in coverage. You can see Alcatraz in front of me. I mean, that's the issue. They were not covering, whether it be, I mean, Diamond Lenore had trouble getting off of blocks against some of those screens. I remember the Puka Nacua screen, but Renardo Green, Matthew Stafford just didn't have to hitch hardly at all yesterday. You got to force the quarterback to hitch, to hold on to the ball for a split second longer so that pass rush can hit. But whether it be some of the soft coverage from Renardo Green, the fact that both of the 49ers safeties are playing more like strong safeties and not cover safeties. They're not getting Malik Mustafa plastered over Devontae Adams on the one-on-one that he had, and that allowed Stafford to go pitch and catch without a hitch. The pass rush can't hit. Gifford wasn't covering anybody yesterday. I mean, it was brutal on the back end. So lockdown coverage, we'll show Alcatraz as long as we have to. 49ers need to get better in that regard. It's not going to happen overnight. It probably won't happen consistently for the rest of this season. We know the offense has to be the driver of this train, but the defense can get incrementally better. Kittle says that Saleh can coach him up. I believe him. And they have to be better, especially if the best offense that they're playing over the course of the next month is the number 21 offense. It gets worse and worse and worse over the next 4 games in terms of quality of opponent. So you get just incrementally better as a defense, build some confidence in the 49ers, and then let your offense and special teams do the rest. That's why they're going to be favored over the next 4 games. That is why the sun has again risen. We might be here in a month. Maybe we could come back up onto the roof. We could talk about the 10-4 49ers, and that in and of itself would be a miracle given how many injuries they've had. The goal of all this is entertainment. Can the 49ers bring us entertainment through to the finish line? And I think that they're well set up to do it, just as well set up as they were yesterday morning before the sun rose on Sunday. They lost a game they were expected to lose against the Rams. That's more how we expected week 5 to go, but the 49ers notched a massive, massive win. So still, in the big picture, the 49ers, despite all these injuries, coming out on top. Let's see what the next month has to bring.
I mean, we started the game off with a punt, a fumble, a 4th down turnover, a touchdown, and a punt. And I'm pretty sure, like I said, since I've been back, is that our team is going to have to rely on our really good veteran offense to score a lot of points and not turn the ball over. And we didn't really do that today. And so I think that's going to be the case moving forward. Our offense has to play at an incredibly high level. We have to score a lot of points. We have to not turn the ball over. And I think our defense is going to get better and better throughout the week because we still have a lot of young guys. We have a lot of guys missing. But we have to help out our defense. And that's the way the season's going to go. Our offense has to play at a high level, efficient, not turn the ball over, score points, score in the red zone, and then we'll win a lot of games. But if we're not doing that, that's going to happen. Yes, I do. Like I think we're incredibly talented, and we have guys on offense coming back, like we do. And like what our left guard, we had Barch and Burford play. So like whoever figures that part out, and we'll get some solidify. Yeah, let's go solidify. Solidity. Thank you. And so like that will lock itself in. And again, like Mac's been playing so well that people are like, oh yeah, controversy, stuff like this. Brock Purdy's an amazing quarterback, and that's why we paid him so much money. And then whenever we can get Ricky and, hopefully at some point Brandon back, like we have a lot of talent on this offense. And so I thoroughly believe that we can score a ton of points. And I really do also believe that our defense will just get a little bit better every single week. I truthfully do believe that. And they've just been taking haymakers year round with all the injuries. But I do. Saleh's such a good coach that he's going to bump those guys up. They're going to get some stops. And we just have to continue to score a lot of points and not turn the ball over. And our special teams is still playing really well. Like Sky Moore he's got a house one here soon. Him and Brian, they're both doing a great job. Thank you.